again.
Great, thank you. Nobody else yet, okay. Can we move to approve the minutes from our September 10th meeting? Motion, second.
Not sure if you can.
I'm wondering if we.
We need a
I
quorum.
don't think you can, I think. you need
Okay.
more.
We'll just have to wait on that one until we get one or two more people. Sorry the delay. Robin, we're just gonna hold off on you until we can get a quorum. We are expecting more people.
Yep,
Come in.
that's fine.
So. Of course, Dave.
Okay, sure.
So why don't we move on with the reports? And Doug, if you can start with Irwin Park, that'd be great.
Sure, Dave and I had walked through the park today, and I've been walking through it for the last few months. Just a few things just to note, John, you're gonna hear some things over again that you already know. But you know, the first thing was around the barn, it seems like drainage is still an issue.
Yep. Talked about it the other day.
Yeah, and it's really overgrown back there by you know, the dumpster area. I guess we have the dumpsters there. Are we doing a project or something?
Since the house is scheduled to be, torn down, the utility repairman is gonna move in the lower section of that building.
Okay, so you're
we're
just
gonna
cleaning stuff out.
Yeah, we're cleaning
Okay.
stuff out, that's why the dumpsters are.
Okay, but if we can kind of clean that area up, it's kind of, just
It's all
really,
part of the same.
really overgrown. Also, the portable toilet still seems to be right out in the open.
Yep.
Any plans on that?
We're switching companies tomorrow.
Oh,
New
okay,
company will put it in the right place and that will be.
check that box. Okay, that's good.
Gene's on mine.
Yeah, no, that's great. We did have a question about, I guess CERT is now in the Vine Cottage, is that right? Or are they in the
I
police department?
think they might be in the police department.
Okay, there's 3 vehicles up there, actually 2 trailers and a vehicle. Is that always gonna be there, or are they gonna be housed?
I'm not sure, they were put there because of the police department construction. And I don't really know if they're going back or not, but with that said, we can find out. for you.
Yeah, I think it'd be a good idea. I mean, it's not like they're an eyesore or anything.
Oh,
like that.
great, we have 7.
Oh, we do have 4.
All right.
Gene's on.
On Gene's on, terrific, okay. Yeah.
Also, there's areas of the flexi pave that definitely need trimming back. Clearly the grass and the weeds have taken over, you know, a section of it, it's mostly on the side with like where Weed Street is. You know, that we noticed, the moss is back in several areas, so that's something if we could just kind of pay attention to that. And, you know, got me thinking, do we have like a routine maintenance plan for the flexi pave? I mean, is there such a thing like that, or do we just kind of take it on ad hoc?
We take it on ad hoc.
Okay,
The weeds have gotten much worse.
Yeah.
From this spray, I think there's so many seeds, it's a perfect environment, and it was so wet this spring. It just keeps enough moisture there that they grow, so the seeds blow in there.
yeah, I'm just hoping it doesn't like, you know, hurt the flexi pave, you know, obviously.
Potentially it will,
Yeah.
and there's FlexiPave themselves can come out and do a rejuvenation to the surface, which I don't know exactly whether they're putting another thin layer on like you do at a track.
Okay, and you know, a couple of the benches are, again, just totally covered in lichen and, you know, mold and stuff like that, or moss.
Yeah,
So-
we get through about a third of them each winter.
And some of them look great.
Yeah.
I mean, they really do.
Yeah, so it's just a matter, we don't say we're gonna do Irwin Park this winter, we've had to do some of them when we pick the worst ones, so. That would be starting once we're done with leaves, usually in December, as long as it doesn't snow too much.
Here you go. We did notice that the knotweed appears to be pushed back in the, I guess, the testing area.
Yep.
Which looks great. But we also noticed that there's 2 different colors of paint they painted the bottoms. Is that because we're injecting them with 2 different, like,
They tried injection and they stopped doing the injection, and they went to some more. Regular spray
Pesticides or
to
whatever.
try that,
Yeah.
the problem with injection, you have to wait till they're a certain height. Or a certain size before you can inject them. And so if they're too big or too small, it doesn't work, and it's also very labor intensive.
well, it seems to be working in that area.
Yes.
Which is good.
Yeah.
And John noted to me that the garden club is planning to start their path construction and the tree planting over by Hackney Road. The area looks great. It's all cleaned up, all prepped and ready to go. So, I mean, it's just a matter of them starting the project.
Starting the project, the trees on order, that type of stuff, and yeah, and then they're working on getting the prices for putting in all the little walkways and that, and then the trees will be planted.
It's gonna look great.
Yep.
Well, yeah.
Now, we talked about this in the past, about the backside of the house. Is that gonna get mowed this year? Or cut
Regularly it
down?
wouldn't, but we had a meeting this week with the garden club and they'd like us to mow it down, some of for their invasive weed program to help with that, but also they will do it. So as long as time permits, yes, Ryan and his crew will have it all mowed down this.
Great, the trees all look, relatively solid, I mean, all throughout the property. There is one kind of large tree that's down in the front. If you're looking at Weed Street, it's off to the right. If probably right by if you're at the apple orchard, it's right to the right.
Okay, we'll check it out.
That would be great, because it is a little cumbersome there. Speaking of the apple orchard, it looks really nice, but there's no fruit. I'm just wondering what happened. We had a bumper crop a couple of years ago, and
And it just kind of goes in cycles.
is that what it is?
My understanding, and I don't really know, I'm definitely not a guy that maintains orchards, but, some of the orchards are having a tough year, small apple, and less quantities than they've had in the past, so.
Well, I know
I
that,
don't know if that has anything to do with this is the second year going into a fall drought, I don't know.
I just didn't know if it had anything to do with those nasty little Japanese things that are coming around and eating the fruit off the fruit trees.
We didn't see a lot of them up there,
Okay,
but that's one of the fears. If the spotted lantern flies run out of other food, they're gonna go for the fruit trees.
right,
So,
right.
but they kept their leaves on there, and we just didn't see any of them up there, many spotted lantern flies up there.
Yep, but we will say the grass fields look awesome. I mean, they're beautifully maintained, beautifully cut. Out by where the soccer fields cut in and all that stuff, and all underneath the apple orchard, it looks fantastic. But the last thing, just on the property itself, was we noticed that the wall, if you're looking towards Weed Street, the wall on the right has a lot of caved in spots.
The wall that is along Weed Street?
Yes.
Okay. I know there's
Yeah,
at least one.
and I haven't noticed that in the past, so I don't know if that's a new effect or whether I just wasn't paying attention to it. So that's kind of it with the grounds. However, I do have a couple other notes. As John mentioned to me in his note, signs are up for demolition for the Irwin House. So, the remediation, I don't know if it started already, John, but
It could have started already, but I think it's starting on Monday.
yeah, I didn't see anybody around at the property today, so I just figured it was probably gonna get started in the new ones. Just out of curiosity, do we know what we're gonna do with all the plants that are around the house?
We're planning on moving one Japanese maple to start with. Some of the issues like the alley that goes through there, those were planted on top of the bomb shelter. We don't know if they'll even be able to be transplanted. So some of this, we're still working through some. of it.
Okay, well, I mean, there's just a lot in the front that look like, could probably belong somewhere else.
Some of them could, some of them, when you actually start evaluating both sides, since they're growing next to a building, there's no leaves on the
Okay.
side, so.
Just an observation.
Yeah. Mhm.
And the last piece that I wanted to touch on, because Hank has asked in the past, is about Gore's Pavilion. I did a little research with Nancy Geary from the Historical Society. She kind of runs the operation as far as it comes to Gore's. The only way to get in there is by appointment only. It's through her and through the Historical Society. Interested visitors have to email her, and then they set up tours. She said it really comes down to students and architects that are really the biggest people that want to come in and check it out. However, they are not currently renting it for parties or anything like that. The only thing that's been in there in the last couple of years, as far as that goes, has been a board meeting from the Historical Society, and then Amanda Gore's 100th birthday party, because they thought that was a touching thing to do there. They do have an annual art exhibition. This year it was postponed because they had too much stuff going on the actual Historical Society campus, but they are bringing it back in 2026. So they plan to paint the entire exhibition room and the inside of the Gore's Pavilion before that happens. I did notice that they painted and fixed the entire outside of it. So the outside looks really nice now, as opposed to the way it looked in the springtime. One thing that she wanted to mention was that the museum does pay off for all the utilities. They also plan to fix a door because there's a busted door inside the pavilion itself. They redid all the locks recently because it didn't pass the fire inspection. So that's all taken care of. And they're also see, and then all I'm gonna say is they are planning to paint the inside again before the exhibition shows up. Last year, in 2024, over 100 people showed up for the, art exhibition, so. So, at least it's being used a little bit, but it's not open for rent. But that's it for Irwin Park.
Doug, I had a couple of questions. Do we know what the timeline is for the demolition to actually take place?
Not exactly, they think it's gonna be about a month for the remediation,
Okay,
so that depends on how quick that goes,
right,
I would guess that could be 3 weeks to 6 weeks, I don't really
right.
know.
So let's say maybe the first quarter of next year, possibly.
We're
or-
trying for this fall.
Is this
Oh,
something
okay.
a swap shop might
Okay.
want?
The other thing that comment, when I was out taking my dog for a walk on Monday night, there was, somebody was in the Port Pavilion. It was my first time actually in there from the historic side. They were cleaning it. They were putting up, some, not sculptures, kind of a sculpture type of display. So I think there's some plans in motion, which be helpful. I mean, but it's small. I mean, it is petite in there.
Small building.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah. Any questions for Doug? Well, thank you. Thank you very much. We're gonna have to circle back here. For those that just joined, Melanie, Jean and Dave Shea, are you on?
Nothing.
Well, yeah, he had a power outage at his house. So can we just for roll call purposes, Jean?
Jane Goodman here.
Okay, and then, since we now have a quorum, let's, can we motion to, accept the minutes from our September 10th meeting? Motion, is there a second? Second. All those in favor? Opposed? So carries. Thank you, guys. And now, Robin,
Yeah,
welcome.
thank you for having me again. I sent a small presentation, I don't know if that was sent to the commissioners or not. It'll be in your pack.
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
So I didn't bring my laptop with me, but, basically, New Canaan Land Trust, because we have the Green Link to connects more or less Irwin to Bliss Park or the Nature Center. Rob Fryer, who's here, who's our president, has said, well, he's walking Irwin. He's pointed out to people that there's the Green Link and that a fair amount of people didn't realize it was there, that.
If I could interject quickly, especially if I'm in uniform, I go there a lot. How do I get to the Green Lane? Sure. Can I walk I heard we could walk to the nature center. How do I do that? Because across the road is all behind trees. So it is something with from time to time. Obviously not with daily or weekly visitors, but people who don't go there too often will get that question.
So it look in the presentation is that what I've done, and unfortunately I went to go take a picture this morning, but that wasn't possible. The picture is from the corner of that side exit entrance from, Wahackney and Lead.
Yeah.
And what we were hoping on the inside of the park, if we could put an arrow sign that would have the Canaan Land Trust logo, but then also just say, this is just a rough draft this way, or to the New Canaan Green Link, to New Canaan Nature Center.
Okay.
To have there, for people to go, and then of course, it's, it links, I do it all the time, it's a 3.5 mile walk when you do Irwin and then the Green Link, then into town and back up. So we just want to advertise for people the direction that it is there, kind of,
Sure.
so some people who might not know, I mean, once you cross the crosswalk, you'll see in the pictures, there is the Will New Canaan Land Trust sign that has the arrow pointing
Yep.
to the left, that then there's that gravel sidewalk, so to speak, to the Green Link, to the sign. So what we were looking for was permission, if the parks were interested in allowing us to put up a small sign with our logo that
Sure.
does indicate to the Green
Sure.
Link and to New Canaan Nature Center. And I would have to say, I need to reach out to Bill Flynn to make sure they're okay, that we have something that indicates to New Canaan Nature Center.
Right.
I was gonna ask that.
Yeah.
You went directly. from-
Yeah, so I'll reach out to Bill Flynn to ask him if that's okay. I'm gonna assume I'll ask him, but he'll be fine with that. But we will be asking. So that's where we're looking for permission. New Canaan Land Trust would pay for the sign, and we just asked, obviously, it needs to be discussed, we put it in the post or, and that's for, really John to kind of direct what should be doing.
Okay.
But we're looking for permission to do that.
just to support Robin again, as we all know, the town made that beautiful concrete walkway, the other side of that stone wall, across to where the crosswalk is, put in the crosswalk, has the flashing lights and all of this. But because of those nice spruce trees, as you take the bend in the park, you don't see all of that. That's the problem.
Right, understood.
For people who are not familiar with those.
That's fantastic, okay. That's great, I think this is it's a great idea and it helps, further, the usage of the park as well as, the walkway to the nature center.
Right.
And it helps a number of organizations.
I think you should put one in the nature center that says Irwin Park.
Oh.
You know, John, there was a very sort of makeshift sign when the Green Link got
Yeah.
first started. There was one that said but it's long gone.
Yeah.
We should
Yeah.
I'll reach
talk
out
to
to
Bill
Bill
about
about
that
it.
again, say
Yeah.
this is to go back.
Because it is a nice walkthrough. I
Yeah.
agree, the whole loop is very nice.
Yeah.
Have you given any thought to like putting a map up as opposed to just a sign?
So-
Cause they have it in Waveney and they show like it's a mile point one to this point,
Yeah.
it's just something like that.
I mean, that to me, I was just wondering about space wise, because the garden club already has the map when when you come in to the right, they have the map of Irwin. So this, we thought could just be something small, an arrow, like to link over. There had been talk of maybe putting up, someone had mentioned one of those little plastic holders to put in like an actual physical map, but those become like dog poop and chemicals. So we've been taking them down on our trail. So I mean, that would be something, but I just thought something easy, small, doesn't take up a lot of space.
You know, it works.
Yeah, and if it gets damaged, it'd be easier to replace.
Reminds me, one person who asked me a year ago, how you get there, that map they put up, it's kind of facing the wrong way. And someone said, I'm looking for the green link, but the map says go to the left, that's towards town. And I can't find it because the map, if you look at it, the arrow is going that way, but that's why another reason a sign would really help.
Right. Okay. There any questions for Robin? Is there a motion to approve? Melanie, and second by Susan, okay, all those in favor?
I would respectfully abstain just because you have not spoken with
With
Bill.
Bill Flynn, yeah, and
But
so, we
if-
won't,
if he says yes,
Yeah, but that's, nature center is separate from us, that nature, we don't.
no, but
Yeah.
that will say on the sign to New Canaan Nature Center.
Oh,
I just
okay,
wanna
that's
get
fine.
that.
I
Bill
mean, I
okay
don't,
with
you
that.
know,
Yeah,
And we won't. do
subject
that.
to,
We could put Bliss Park, but no one will know what that is.
subject to his approval.
exactly.
Yeah,
subject with approval, yeah.
yeah,
Any opposed? Motion carries.
okay, and then I'll just reach out to you, John, about placement and go that way. We just wanna say, real quick, I wanna say a big thank you to Ryan and Joe, and Ryan, what's Joe's last name?
Joe Olson.
Olson, we have a memorial bench in Brown Preserve next to our headquarters, and Ryan and Joe dropped it off, but then had to carry it
Up a mountain.
across the entire preserve, hit up a little hill. So incredibly grateful. I kept on apologizing the entire time you guys were doing it,
Not a problem.
and then they came back and anchored it after we leveled it. So big thank you for that.
Of course.
They
You go to the right, yeah.
They're gonna- Hey,
Yep, they know that.
they know about it.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, we appreciate all the great work that you guys are doing.
Yeah.
I think I was at the theater in the park on Sunday and the Land Trust folks were there, and I think it was a great combination of things going on, so.
Yeah, taking advantage of Bristow.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that was a good partnership.
Well, thank you,
Yeah.
and you're more than welcome to stay the rest of the meeting if you like.
Yeah.
You can just,
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
all right, so we will move on to the next item, which is the Waveney Park. Susan and Tim.
Okay, thank you. We've got a short, hopefully informative report. We've heard a lot of specifics in the last couple of months about things that are going on in the park, so I feel like there's no sense in us going back over. We heard from the garden club, we heard from the ice rink, we heard from a nice report from Ryan about the playground in September, and we heard about the Waveney Trails project, so I'm not gonna reiterate those,
Mhm.
we just heard about them. Bring you up to date on Capo Field. It is, being used by New Canaan Baseball. It's also being used by field hockey and some other sports. The funding for it is $2 million from the town and $3 million plus through the Athletic Association, or the foundation, just
Mhm.
as a point of interest. It seems to be great.
It's the Capo Field, right?
Capo Field,
Yeah,
yes, sorry,
okay.
I should have been clearer.
Mhm.
Pickleball, the four lighted courts were approved for the 25-26 budget. And, they're currently in the design stage. Keith Simpson is working on the design for 6 courts, but 4 will be built at this time. So, it's in the design stage, so hopefully we're moving forward with that. The playground, we heard about it, the adult fitness area is now open and the handicapped access has been completed. The children's play area, we approved it last month and it has since been approved by the selectmen and the town council, so the equipment has been ordered. And the funding for that is a combination of the town, a state grant, and the Friends of Waveney Club, playground. So that's
Great.
in process. All our benchmarks, 3 our locations
Mhm.
are installed. That's, they're there, they look great. The west parking lot, which we had the, presentation last year, the construction began last week, I believe.
Actually, this week, started this week, yep.
past. And so that will be coming along.
Mhm.
As far as sports go, they're playing flag football, the girls softball, plus others. There are rec programs going on. And, the FSAC's going to have their cross-country race in the park, so it's really well used for that. As far as other events go, I think the Carriage Barns Festival art show was very successful. There were a lot of people there. It was a beautiful day, and that's great. Upcoming Caffeine and Carburetors are scheduled for October 19th. And the Fall Festival is scheduled for October 24th, and that's going to have all kinds of wonderful, fun things, which will be, I've got just a few notes on that, but there'll be an outdoor movie and hay rides and
Oh, great.
all
It's sold
wonderful.
out.
And it's sold
It's
out.
sold out. Wow.
1,200 people.
Wow,
Yep.
no kidding.
Wow, great.
Oh my gosh, that's terrific.
It is, and the park itself is looking great, even though we've had all this dry weather. Kudos for keeping it, looking as good as it is. There's concern about the trees, as we all are concerned about our trees, that, two consecutive years of dry weather will, put stress on the trees that are not as healthy, so. Obviously, that's a concern for us, but there's not much that can be done about it.
No, no, exactly, yeah.
It's in God's hands, so, I think if there's any questions, that's,
Questions for Susan? Thank you for an excellent report, I appreciate it. Melanie, if you'd like to do Dixon and Mead, that'd be great.
Yes, thank you. We really don't have, any updates in Dixon to my recall. It's a very small playground and it's not heavily used. Really nice for young kids, but there's really nothing more to add, for the fall on that side. For Mead Park, we have a couple of updates, and I try to follow the same structure I followed last time as I did in the spring. So firstly, the playground structure, again, continues to be very popular, very well utilized, and all the repairs and the maintenance is up to date. We had discussed in the spring that a swing chain had been identified to be repaired, that has been fixed, and the same with one of the entry gates for the Little Children's Playground. All the baseball fields are in great condition, the big field, Medic, and the Gamble Little League. And again, very popular. Cop is still very new, so these fields have been really well used throughout both seasons. In terms of the litter and the cleanliness of the park, as you can all recall, we have the carry in, carry out garbage policy. But still, John and his team finds that having a person coming in every morning early on to collect garbage really helps keep the park pristine. Just a bit of the broken window theory, right? I mean, the cleaner you leave it, the more people are gonna be incentivized to leave it as they found it. So, you know, this person, you know, doesn't just focus on the baseball field, but also on the playground, and any other area where they can find, you know, a coffee cup or anything of the sort. In terms of the irrigation project, we have discussed already a lot. You know, the new irrigation system has been installed, but as John explained at the last meeting, there were some challenges, and but it's been done. So I'm not gonna go over again, and John can probably answer better questions, but you know, I just want to remind everyone that the irrigation system really just covers a huge area of Mead Park. You know, it covers the baseball fields, the planters, the colonnade, and the courts. So moving on to the court side, you know, because we have this great irrigation system, the courts can be consistently watered every night, which, you know, we heard from some residents last time. It is critical to keep the clay in top condition. At the same time, you know, John really highlighted when we discussed the updates that if there's any type of treatment that the courts have to, you know, need to have, and there's a period of time during the day when you know they're not under use, this irrigation system allows them to, you know, the team to come in, do whatever treatment, and then sort of water it, and it's just all automated, and it really facilitates, you know, just keeping the courts in the best shape possible. So, no, the irrigation system has given John and his team a bit of a headache, but it really has paid off, and it's going to continue paying off in the future, in our ability to keep the courts in great shape. We have also heard from John and from residents that some of the tapes needed to be replaced or fixed. So again, you know, they're continually monitoring that situation, but John explained that a lot of the tapes are going to be replaced next year. And these tapes last around 3 to 4 years. So that's going to be a great improvement for our residents. In terms of the programs, we reviewed overall figures with John, not just need. So I would just like to give some sort of overall indication, and how some of these trends could include Waveney. But the adult rocket program, I mean, all the rocket programs continue to be very well subscribed this fall. The aggregate figures show a year-to-year increase in memberships. When it comes to tennis, we see the increase driven equally by family and youth passes. And when we look at the pickleball membership, we see that the increase is mainly explained by senior passes. So again, we see that our recreation programs are really well used across a broad range of ages and family situations and stages in life. The upper parking lot improvement that continues to be in the works. There's a lot of planning that's being done. And we know that because once the planning is done, the team goes in and out and they try to minimize the hassle for residents. Within that project, John has shared that we'll have a new shed, but that is being designed along the same lines as a whole improvement. And it's going to be delivered at the same time. That way, the aesthetics is sort of very consistent across the board. And last, another update, because, you know, some questions have come up about the pond. It does look greener.
Yeah.
But there's really not a change in the quality of the water. It's more of the algae, the concentration, driven by the little rain that we've had. And therefore, sort of, we have a bit of less fresh water coming in. But it's, you know, as per John, it's a visual change. And hopefully, as we get more rain, it's just the aesthetics is going to really go back to the same color that we are used to seeing. So that's all I have for me. If anyone has any questions.
Any questions on the meat? No one? Great. Okay. And Dixon, we're okay, all good to get a good report, okay. Any questions from Tony? Well, thank you, appreciate that. We will move on to Kiwanis.
All right, so Hank and I have this covered. I'll give some quick stats on Kiwanis for 2025, and then we'll talk briefly about the status of master plan update. So for 2025 at Kiwanis Park, 105 total memberships, passes have been sold. That's 83 residents and 25 non-residents for a total of $2,260 collected. There were 919 membership scans this year, to date, as reported. And in terms of total people, there are about 5,000, including YCI, the library story time, and the summer camp, 4,997. And we don't, I guess, have a straight comparison to that to prior years. Yeah.
We didn't have good numbers, in the past.
All right,
So.
but these are good numbers for this year. So quickly on, so the master plan. Over the summer, Keith Simpson and his associate Bill Pollock observed the park, talked to people using it, spoke a little bit, I guess, with town hall, and Hank and I caught up with them after the summer ended. We had paused the public meetings that we held on the subcommittee just for the summer so that because we felt like we got what we need from those initial meetings. And the idea was for Keith Simpson Associates to kind of observe and gather more information over the summer. So they did that, and then we caught up with them. Their tentative plan is to present a concept to us for consideration in November. Hank and I will, meet with them, and then you will at that time likely reconstitute or hold a subcommittee meeting again for the Kiwanis Park subcommittee. And then we'll confer with George, with John, just to make sure that we've got a good presentation to give to the full commission before that concept is approved and the master plan goes forward.
Right.
That's where it is.
Super, John,
Thanks.
that's excellent progress in a very, kind of a short window of time too. When that meeting is in November, just let me know, that'd be great.
Absolutely.
Yeah, sure, John and I,
Yeah.
so.
Question about, the plan that he's coming up with. I understand that he's observing, I know you gave him sort of the wish list, we walked through it. So I'm just gonna go back to like the splash pad, something that maybe seems like wouldn't be stage one. Was there any direction in terms of like, as he develops it, that it could be a multi-stage, multi-year, like rollout, if we did end up wanting to ever do something like that?
I think he's gonna look at the whole thing, correct me if I'm
Yeah,
wrong.
and
to
they
what
also
could
have
fit.
other ideas of how to make that area even more attractive to kids.
Okay.
To be really a kids magnet,
Okay,
and which may be a little bit less expensive than the splash pad.
because the splash pad was such an exciting, fun idea.
It's a great
It
idea.
is a
Yeah.
good idea, yeah.
No, but I know maybe wasn't necessarily actionable, like right off the bat, but I was just
But
sort
they-
of wondering, like,
They were looking at that, because they do feel it should be something there,
okay,
okay?
great.
Right. Any questions for Hank and Tim? Okay, appreciate it. Thank you for all the excellent reports. It's a, only there, but I think it's great to kind of do a recap from time to time of what's going on in our backyard here. So, John, without further ado.
Okay, well, I don't have an awful lot, but next Wednesday is the FCI Cross Country Championship. They're planning on having more than 900 runners cross the finish line. So it's been a busy day. It's his 32nd year it's been held here at Waverly. So it's pretty good. And then, of course, Caffeine and Carburetors is gonna be on the 19th, where they're sending out registration, and I actually registered my own truck, so.
All right.
As long as I can get it fixed before that.
Sure, yeah.
In programs, we started a new program in junior, the little kids cheerleading. So we have 38 kids, that goes along with flag football, where we have 435 kids play flag football. With that said, our limiting factor on both those programs is parent coaches.
Yeah.
A lot of kids will wanna do it, so there's a waiting list on both. Other than that, Ryan and his team, I think they verified and oversee almost every piece of grass the town owns.
Right.
They've done a great job with that. If we could just get a little bit of rain, it will help.
Yeah.
You know, so
Right.
we're going into fall, you can see the leaves are already changing, mainly due to dry weather, but.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, good. Oh, the rain this morning didn't help? A little bit.
Never enough.
Yeah, exactly. Great. Are there any questions for John, Ryan, or B? No?
So I echo the feeling, I do hear flag football is so popular, people are interested. If you need parent coaches, and parents want to volunteer, but they don't know how.
I'll be glad to train.
So because they have to contact, your office,
Yep.
the Parks and Rec department to
Steve-
get the training.
Yeah, Steve Dayton leads the flag football thing, but yes, if there's parent coaches that would like to, definitely, he sends out multiple emails to all the participants.
In registration,
And
it will ask
registration.
you if there's anyone in the household who would.
I know,
consider
but I'm not sure, I don't remember if it also clarifies whether you can provide training for those who want to volunteer, but they just don't know. Maybe, you know, they need some help. But, you know, I just, you know.
We can use enough parent coaches, so that, yeah, we'll figure out how to train them.
I'll send you.
Well,
Yeah, but John, I took a walk with my wife in Mill Pond.
Yep.
That it was, looks really great, but a lot of duck poo
Exactly.
underfoot. There's, not duck poo, I'm sorry, geese poop. Geese poop,
Yeah.
you know, and there are a lot of geese in the water, and also a couple of ducks, but mostly geese. But the poo was just all over, and, you know, is there any way to discourage that, or is that just nature against us?
It's nature, in that case, it's probably nature against us. We do discourage it at Mead Park, and we don't have the same problems. Mill Pond is a tougher one to do.
Yeah.
So we haven't even thought of trying to attempt.
No coyote statues or anything?
They don't work. I could go back, and when we tried them down at Mead Park years ago, the geese would eat right next to it.
Right.
We move them every day. And, you
Yeah.
know.
Let's get some real coyotes in there.
That's exactly, yeah. So, yeah, unfortunately, I don't think we'll win. in the fund.
Gotcha.
Is there any long-term consequences to the geese finding a great home and?
Okay, the tough part is it's disgusting. But it's really not that bad because they only eat grass.
Oh.
So, yeah, it's not, you're putting a lot more nitrogen in the water and things like that, so it's not great for the environment. If they still migrated, we see them twice a year, we'd be very happy. We'd think they would be gorgeous birds, but now that they're resident Canada geese.
Right.
Okay, that's part of the problem.
Thanks, John.
Yeah, thank you.
Any questions for John? Okay, we'll go on to my extremely brief report. Next meeting is Wednesday, November 12th. Okay. I'd like to also mention that I thought the theater in the park organized by the Livinati's last Sunday was phenomenal. I was there and they did just a tremendous job, very creative. I hope we have this as a long-standing tradition. I think having it on the Sunday was best from a traffic standpoint too, and I think it was very well received all around to do that.
Was it well attended?
I'm
Do
sorry,
you know if it was well attended?
very
Yeah,
well,
I mean,
but
we were-
they did it, they staged it in groups, so it's not like 200 people were walking through at once, they divide them up depending on what your time was. So it was very well organized and a lot of people,
There in a mid-afternoon group, and it was, you know, we had a nice group of about 12 or 15 people,
Yeah.
so I just wondered if, you know,
I was thinking it was staggered, there was a baseball game that morning. It was a makeup game, so there was a little bit of traffic, but it wasn't an issue. So, and the actors and actresses were characters, they were funny, they really cracked me up, so. Gladys, I mean, there's obviously a lot of things going on this time of year. Thank you for all your hard work and efforts, and I know that you guys have been extremely busy, so it doesn't go unnoticed, but thank you. So, that's my report,
Eddie had her hand up before.
Yes,
but she'll get back down.
okay, sir, do you have Betty, can you? Okay, all right, Betty?
Betty's got her hand up.
Yeah.
I can't hear.
Yeah, so we can hear you,
I can't hear you.
I can hear you.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to circle back to the Kiwanis Park Master Plan meeting. would we, meaning the abutting neighbors, and there are several that Keith did not have on his original listing, would the neighbors be invited to the meetings since they were dropped off from the subcommittee? And will they be able to put their input into it before any deal is finalized? For example, we didn't see any master plan or Keith Simpson's drafts yet, and will that be sent to us?
First of all, I'm unaware that neighbors, or anybody cannot attend the meeting, the public meeting. And at the last subcommittee meeting we had, there were a large number of neighbors who were not only there in attendance, but also spoke. So it's a little confusing to me. The concept is, as you said before, Betty, the concept before is we're gonna be seeing it for the first time in November. Okay, and once we see it, and it will be presented to the subcommittee, and by the subcommittee, I mean all, anybody else with
It's a public meeting, yeah.
public meeting.
Yeah,
And only when the subcommittee, sees all the comments and passes on this, will it be, brought before this commission.
okay, now I understood it to be that you were meeting with the subcommittee and not open to the public. The next meeting coming up, but it is open to the public.
All the meetings are always open.
Subcommittees are open to the public. This has been a very transparent process. Started by Keith and then with Hank and Tim. I think this has been a fully transparent process of what we're trying to do. And once that subcommittee happens, it'll be properly posted and people can attend. But nobody has been left out at all.
Thank you.
So, are there any other comments from the public? Sir, do you have anything?
Oh,
for us?
yes.
Oh, yes.
I don't know
Hi,
what
Kathy.
to say. I'm trying to raise my hand. It's Kathy Mitchell. Which one do I put for raising my hand? Anyhow,
There you go.
I just have a concern about Waveney. The Arts Festival was terrific. I was there and I was having a good time until I got stung by one of the yellow jackets, which there were tons of yellow jackets flying all over the place. And people were, trying to avoid them. Anyhow, I got stung. I wanted to have ice. I said, where's the first aid? Well, nobody knew where first aid was. Is there a first aid here? The volunteers didn't know. She thought maybe it was up where you enter. I didn't know. Then I saw the police officer. There was no one there who had any kind of first aid thing until, I'll get into it later, until somebody walked by. I think it was a CERT person, but that was like a half an hour later when people were trying to get ice. So somebody says, I'll get you ice. They were going into, I believe, the carriage barn for it, but I don't know where they went. In the meantime, somebody I knew came down. He normally has ice pack because he's a Boy Scout leader. Unfortunately, he didn't have one that day, and this thing is really red. So I would just like to suggest that they have some kind of first aid available in an event like that, especially with the little children all around. And those yellow jackets were really, really out that day. I don't know, John, have you noticed a lot of yellow jackets over there?
Yeah, unfortunately, we have a lot of yellow jackets everywhere. After the last few winters not being that severe, a lot of them have overwintered, so to speak, and so we've had more yellow jackets. With that said, the carriage barn was having New Canaan EMS at the event. What I'm not sure is if the crew stayed, maybe they had another call, that type of thing. But we have an after action meeting tomorrow, and I'll bring
Uh-huh.
up the fact about having first aid.
Okay, I couldn't quite hear what you said, but anyhow, there was no EMS there. Normally, there's an EMS around at events like this, right?
That's correct. I know they were supposed to be there, but they might have had to go to another call.
But Kathy, thank you so much. Hey Kathy, we hear you. I think.
Okay, thanks.
And, we will raise it.
It sounds like you'll be addressing it.
and that gets addressed. And-
Okay, great.
thank
That's
you.
what I wanted to know. I had to go to the doctor and get medication.
We totally understand. And thank you for bringing it to our attention.
You're welcome.
Betty, did you have something else to say?
Yes, this is quick. Kathy had mentioned Waveney, and I recall maybe it was a half a year ago or a year ago. She also brought up the railings in front of Waveney House. Where does that stand, or is that being postponed?
That's not in our department. Would be with Tiger Man.
Okay, so Kathy would have to bring it up directly to him because it's the
He knows-
building?
He knows about it, but, and they've been discussing possible solutions. We've been
Okay.
discussing possible solutions, but no
All right.
resolution yet.
Thank you.
Right, thanks, Betty. Any other business to conduct? Is there a motion to adjourn? Tim, first, second, Doug, all those in favor? Thanks, guys. 45 minutes.